Get up with the moment of truth. In Philadelphia, Hurts is hurting. Can the Eagles fly to the big bowl without anything more from Jalen? Meanwhile, his Commanders counterpart, Daniels, doing it better than anyone. Does his miracle run make him the best rookie the game has ever seen? And then finally, here we go. For the fourth time, Josh trying to scale Mount Mahomes. Why legacies are 100% at stake Sunday night in Kansas City. Let's do this thing, people. Yeah. We are ready to roll. Hawk and Kmart are here. These jokers are here.
Jokers.
Jeff was doing wall squats at 3:45 this morning just to make the rest of us feel bad about ourselves. Let's start it with Championship Sunday statements, people, as we get this thing rolling towards the Final Four. Kmart, the Bills Sunday night will beat Kansas City if what?
If James Cook has himself a day.
Let's go!
Run the football. Listen, the last time they played, James Cook only rushed for 20 yards, and his longest run was 6 yards, right? But he has been on a tear, and Tembo sent me the stat. In the 4 playoff games with Joe Brady as his OC, averaging 92 scrimmage yards per game on 22 touches. He is the key. I know Josh Allen is important, but James Cook.
You've infected the show.
Oh, let's go to the other side. The Chiefs will win if what?
Hollywood Brown gets going. Last week he had 2 targets, no catches, but if you watch the All-22, his presence was felt. It was why Xavier Worthy was able to get plays down the field. It's why Travis Kelce had such a big day. The inclusion of Hollywood Brown into the lineup has right-sized their receiving core, and it's allowed everyone to see a lot more one-on-one matchups or versus zone. Travis Kelce eats all day. Hollywood has to keep going.
All right, let's go to the NFC game. Jeff, the Eagles will win if what?
Ooh, Saquon goes for 3 40-plus yard runs. The reason I'm saying 40 is because once he goes 40, you ain't catching him. They take it in the house. So when you think about how the Eagles offense and their football team run, he is the catalyst. It keeps the defense fresh. They're on the side, and they're getting explosive plays, low risk, high reward, running that football. He's tapping that helmet at the 20. That's insanity. But I love what they got. The best offensive line, or one of the best offensive lines in the league. They're going to run through there.
All right, and then, Nick, the other side of that, your hometown Commanders will win if what?
If the Eagles turn the ball over, which to Jeff's point, they don't do that much because they do those low-risk, very high explosive plays with running the ball. But if the Commanders can get an early lead and force the Eagles into throwing the ball, they might turn it over. And, I mean, a fumble or something could happen. The Commanders are in a tough spot here, but it's not impossible.
All right, so these teams played each other. Let's focus on the NFC game for a moment. These teams played each other a few days before Christmas, and that game is mostly remembered for Jaden Daniels throwing 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It could also be remembered that was the day Jalen Hurts got hurt. That was when the concussion began, which he didn't come back, of course, until the playoffs. Now he's hurt again. What do we know about this knee? That was an ugly-looking play that we saw the other day.
So the good news is that today we will see and hear from, I almost said Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts today. Listen, Nick Sirianni said on the radio this week that they're going forward as though Jalen will play and will start. And so Wednesday, big day of practice, right? You get on the field. We'll be able to see how much he does, if he's a full participant, if he's limited, and it'll give us our first sense of where he is in terms of the knee injury. But as you can see, being bent like that in that situation, not good.
Yeah, a full participant has a lot of different meanings when it comes to him.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to fully participate in practice. It's another thing to fully participate in the running game, which is such a huge part of what he does.
Yeah, his ability to threaten, like it's another blocker. Someone has to account for him. And obviously it's not Lamar Jackson, but it's a threat that you have to account for. He can get 6, 7, he can get 20 yards if you disrespect him in the running attack. If they're not going to use him in that way, that makes it a little bit harder. Like you're going to get fewer opportunities for explosive plays in the running game. So it matters, and I think it also changes the coverages that he can see. Getting on the edge and being able to threaten to run, it makes it easier to complete passes to the one-on-ones that they are most certainly going to see against the Commanders.
Yeah. The completion of passes hasn't been a particularly high priority, however, for this offense, right?
That's exactly. Let's go back to the Hurts of it all. The other issue is if you think about when they played last time and Pickett comes in because of the injury, they can play you differently defensive wise. They understand they can stop Saquon because there's not that same threat of what Hurts did. I think it was the second or third play of the game last week where he takes it 44 plus yards for a touchdown. Those are going to be the kind of the how healthy healthy is he? Even if he is on the field, are they willing to put him at risk? I would say this, though, because of the time of season, it's all out. Like you're not holding anything back. If you're hurt, you're playing through whatever pain you can. You're going to go till you can't go anymore. So I would say you're going to see him. He's going to get out there, but how limited does it make it? How does their defense change? How the Commanders' defense change if they see he is limited? Yeah. And now they kind of play a blanket around there for the Saquon factor.
Yeah, and to your point, this is playoff football. There is no doubt in my mind Jalen Hurts is going to play. And what it does is it makes the Washington Commanders prepare for more scenarios. If you can throw a bunch at him, like, well, maybe Kenny Pickett's going to play. If they do this, then we'll do that. You create the confusion, and they're going to have their menu full when they're trying to stop that run because of what Jalen and the threat that he has on the outside when you're running. As you talked about it, they're going to want to stack the box, right? But what does that mean? That means there's opportunities for big plays. If Jalen isn't there, the stacking the box is more advantageous because you're stacking into an area versus the threat of him pulling and hitting the outside.
I was going to say, against the stack box, Himbo gave me this. Against an 8-man box, Saquon's had a 78-yard touchdown run, a 72, and a 39-yard against Washington in the second game. That's massive because what it does is there is no safety. It's safety one-on-one. He's trying to make that. No one's going to tackle him one-on-one, very rarely. So you're basically putting all your eggs in. Saquon's not going to beat us. We're going to force it. He still has beaten people. That's the difference.
Well, so let's teach a little bit here because you guys taught me something a little bit this morning. Most people who only understand the game to some degree on a rudimentary level, as I do, would say, okay, you want to stop Saquon Barkley, you load the box. What is the danger of loading the box against him?
Yeah, explosive plays coming off of that. Think about this. You see the 3rd and 1s and the 4th and 1s happen in the NFL where all of a sudden the guy gets that 1 yard and then he goes 30 plus. Because everybody has a specific gap and they're all up tight to the line of scrimmage. So if it gets jumbled up and the running back does happen to get through the hole, there's no one there to stop them. Everybody has put the risk in. We're going to be toes at the feet of the defensive lineman, that's the linebackers, and the safeties at the feet or the heels of the lineman. So there's no one back. There's no blanket. There's no coverage to help. And I'm just telling you, offensive linemen, we actually like this because it does become, if we can block 2 with 1, and that just has to be a push. All of a sudden, those runs become explosive. It is encouraged.
You're more likely to have explosive runs when a team is loading the box. But when it's Saquon Barkley, it's even more dangerous because we saw last week, he'll set these blocks up. It's something that Jeff and I have talked about a lot, that there are some running backs that you hand the ball to and they run to where the play is designed. There are some running backs who you hand the ball to and it's reminiscent of Le'Veon Bell, where he'll put his head in one hole. And then you move over there and then Jeff then has leverage. Then he'll come back to find the hole that he's then created. And then if you're all loaded in the box, one person gets out of the gap, you're already on the safety. Then again, it's the safety in open field, and we've seen Saquon do it far too many times this year.
Yeah, and that's why I'm less worried about the Philadelphia Eagles pass game. Because they're so special in the run game. And if a team decides to overcommit to stop the run, you are leaving A.J. Brown one-on-one. And you say what you want about Jalen Hurts or any quarterback in the NFL, all of them can throw the ball effectively when you have one-on-one coverage and A.J. Brown. Think the Notre Dame-Ohio State game. You're going to put that guy out there on an island on A.J. Brown, it's going to get ugly.
Like where your head is.
And a lot of the conversation after that game was about, to Kellen Moore, about the 65 net passing yards. Like, what's the explanation for that? What is that? And his reaction was, yeah, that's not ideal. So and every time we bring up the A.J. Brown of it all and where are his targets, why are they not feeding him the ball? They turn around and they start feeding the wide receivers. This is a game where the Eagles can beat you multiple ways. And I think Bart Scott always says styles make fights, right? And what's great about the Eagles is that they don't necessarily have to always rely on Saquon. They can beat you in the air. But he is a wonderful attribute in this offense, so why not take advantage of it?
Well, I mean, can they? That's really the question here. Hembo said it on the radio the other day. We can phrase it differently. They had 195 passing feet in the game the other day. That was, you can actually count their passing by
Come on,
feet.
Hembo.
That's crazy.
And well, I mean, you can't do that with most teams, right? It's kind of hard to do the math in your head. With them, it came kind of quickly. So that's the point. I know I ask this every week.
But I'm old enough to remember when people were killing Jalen Hurts for the lack of a passing game. And then against the Steelers, he sat down and was like, is that what you guys wanted to see? And that, like this chatter about A.J. Brown and this passing offense, like, I get it, but they have Saquon too. Like, I don't understand.
I mean, that was a great attempt by Jalen to get us to stop talking about it, but didn't work. We still see the film. But you're right though, because there's such a special running offense in this day and age. It's different from what we say is modern football in that way. Like,
it's the strategy of football. You have to be really good at something. So good at something that it forces the defense to compromise themselves to stop that. You're not going to be able to stop or even slow this rushing attack without compromising your coverage. Okay, so you're going to get in man coverage. They have advantages out there also. If you want to get in zone coverage, they go RPO on you and put your linebackers in run pass conflict, and they have tackles playing guard, 6-7 guys playing guard. Like, it's a tough setup.
Can we just say, just look down there and circle that points per game. 7th in the league. 27 points per game, and they don't throw the football. That is how. That is your way of winning. You start trying to go throw the football, bad things can happen. First of all, Hurts takes a lot of sacks because he'll hold the ball even when he shouldn't. He won't throw it away. That's gotta change. Those kinds of things. So don't change the formula. The formula works for a reason.
Look,
don't change it. Allow it to continue.
It's winning football, and that's what this is about. Now, if I'm A.J. Brown as a wide receiver on the team,
it stinks.
It stinks. It's not fun. We're winning, but I also want to catch passes. I also want to be able to demand bigger contracts because it's still a business. But as it pertains to how they're playing their game, this is what puts them in the best position
Can I say this
to win a
about
Super Bowl.
A.J. Brown, too? Because I love that you said that. And that's 100% fair and true. But this dude freaking blocks his butt off. Devontae Smith blocks it. Like, they don't just throw their boy under the bus. They do their freaking job. I can't tell you how much respect I have for that, because I don't care if you're going and reading a book on the freaking sideline. When you show up, bro, and it's about us winning, he is about winning. And if you don't want to pay somebody because they want to win, bro, you got the wrong guy. You got the wrong guy paying. Like, that dude wants to win. And if he's called on to be a star, he would be a star. But by God, like, I'm just telling you, that ain't everywhere. Hawk wouldn't be that guy. Hawk would not be that guy. Hawk would make business decisions.
To be fair, they already paid AJ. But it's a little different if you didn't have a contract.
You can always use another contract. Ain't nobody turning those down.
I love how much Jeff loves blocking. You can do whatever you want. But if you block,
as soon as he gets a GM job, I'm back in the league, bro.
Full participant. That's my man. I love you, AJ.
In their 2 playoff wins, A.J. Brown has 3 catches for 24 yards.
How many blocks he got, though, Greeny?
How many blocks? What does that say?
He has 72 feet worth of receptions in their 2 games. If they need more, we'll see what happens. We're just getting rolling. The AFC will go. For the 4th time, it's Josh trying to scale Mount Mahomes. We'll tell you why legacies are 100% at stake Sunday night in Kansas City. Plus, Jaden in command. Is he playing better than any quarterback in the sport right now? Can he actually take Washington all the way to the Super Bowl? Those are the questions. The answers are on the way as we get up with you on ESPN.
I guess I'm not the easiest person to please. I like things just right. That's why I love Redfin's home recommendations. They know what I want even before I do. A home that's just right.
Yes.
Check out this new life insurance policy I scored with Ethos.
How many weeks did it take you to get a policy like that?
With Ethos, try 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah, just go to ethos.com and protect your family's future. The best part is there's no medical exams.
Check your price today at ethos.com.
Wings and pizza here.
You mean pizza and wings?
16 boneless wings, 1 pizza, wings and pizza.
It's stuffed crust pizza. Pizza is the lead.
Wings and pizza. Guys,
get a large stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings starting at $19.99. Only at Pizza Hut.
Are you certain he'll fit?
Sure.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters. Need promo gear? 4imprint certainly got it. Apparel, drinkware, bags, and more. Go get it at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain. I bet it feels like
your story is like no other. Your ring can be too. Find yours and save up to 35% off. Only at Kay.
39, 39 and a half, 40 degrees. Spring is here.
Your cousin from Boston. Break out the Sam Adams Cold Snap, a bright wheat ale with orange and lemon zest.
Ooh, rough night. It's Sam season.
How irresistible are cheesy crackers?
I can't believe you corporate types are still at it. Just stop calling each other rock stars.
And using Workday to put finance and HR on one platform? Tim, you are a rock star.
Using responsible AI doesn't make you a rock star.
Kinda does.
You are not rock stars. Okay, most of you are not rock stars.
Ooh, data-driven insights and large language models. Oh, that's so rock and roll.
It is, right?
He gets it, yeah.
Cleaning your dog's teeth can be hard. But not with Greenie's dental treats. Greenie's, well-being made wonderful. Also, try Greenie's dog food and toppers.
Tax Act has live experts on hand, so you don't have to worry about all the ins and outs of the tax code. Trust us, you don't want to know about all those ins. And don't get us started on the outs. Tax Act. Let's get them over with.
Tell me about all the ingredients in guacamole.
So we have fresh lime juice, we have cilantro, and we have red onions, jalapeno, and avocados. And we hand chop everything every morning. You'll know how real it is because of how it tastes.
Ricola Max Throat Care, a liquid center with powerful menthol for our fastest throat relief.
When I was younger, my calling was to play football. But as I grew older, I realized life isn't about how many people you can knock down. It's about how many people you can lift up. At Ram, our calling is to build game-changing trucks. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
Right now, during the Ram Start Something New sales event, get $6,500 total cash allowance on the purchase of select 2025 Ram 1500 trucks. See your local Ram dealer today.
I'm 110% ready to fall in love.
Tall, handsome, smart. He's perfect.
Time just stood still. It's kind of already sinking in that these other girls are dating my boyfriend.
Everybody just really wants Grant, and we're all fighting for his love.
You act like you don't care.
He knows how I feel.
I know I'm in trouble.
Everyone's so mean.
I did not know how hard this was going to be.
Our favorite photo, would you be shocked if, let's start with this one, Kimberly. Would you be shocked if Jalen Hurts outplays Jaden Daniels in the NFC Championship game?
Spicy.
That's a hard one. I'm going to say shocked, really, because Jaden Daniels threw 5 touchdowns against this same team. And listen, I think in this game, you're going to lean on Saquon Barkley. That's how I'm envisioning it. So for Jalen to have a monster game better than Jaden Daniels, based on what we've been seeing, yeah, I would be shocked.
Okay, let's go the other side. Would Kmart be shocked if the Bills shut down Travis Kelce?
I would say not shocked, because Travis is coming off his best game last week, and if I'm the Bills, I'm looking to shut down Travis Kelce. Like, that's number one in my mind. So I would not be shocked by that. I want Patrick to, Jeff mentioned Hollywood Brown. I think that was Jeff, right? Earlier. I just think you got to get other guys involved, or let other guys try to beat you besides Travis.
Kelce had 7 catches, 117 yards last week against Houston. Finally, would Kmart be shocked if Josh Allen finally beats Mahomes in the playoffs?
Hear ye, hear ye. I would not be shocked at all. Listen, after that Ravens-Bills game, I said whoever wins this game, I think ends up in the Super Bowl. I think this is the year Josh Allen gets the Bills to a Super Bowl.
All right, let's talk about it, because there's nothing I love more than historical context and perspective and significance and all the rest of that. Is this, Dominique Foxworth, a legacy game for Josh Allen?
Obviously, yeah. I mean, I think it absolutely is a legacy game for Josh Allen, because we are going to care about this matchup. Right now, it's not only a legacy game for Josh Allen, like, it's a NFL history game. Yeah. We are currently living in the Mahomes era. Until someone changes that, we can turn it into a rivalry era. We can do a back and forth. We can make it a situation when all these great quarterbacks can win. But right now, it's Josh and them.
That's right.
I mean, excuse me, it's Patrick and them.
Yeah.
And Josh has a chance to step in and make it a different conversation. So even if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, I think this does matter for the way that we view him going forward.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think sometimes we talk about these guys like their stories have been written. All of the great quarterbacks of this era are under 30. Yeah. They still have more than half their careers to go. So maybe, just maybe, we look back on this someday and say, Patrick Mahomes dominated the early part of it, and then it became the Josh Allen era or the Lamar Jackson era or the Joe Burrow era or maybe the Jaden Daniels era. We'll find out.
I think it's a legacy opportunity. Like, if he wins, it will be an important step in his legacy. If he loses, I don't think it hurts Josh Allen because of what you said. There is no quarterback in the NFL under the age of 35 who has a Super Bowl except Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So think about that. Like, literally, it's his world. Also, it may even be a bigger legacy opportunity for Mahomes because nobody's been able to three-peat. So when you talk about the Mahomes and Tom Brady, which is who Mahomes is actually competing with, he's probably going to this on the opposite side, saying this is my opportunity to straight up make myself number one.
Yeah. So I lived this world with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, right? And so I was playing with Peyton, and they got us in the playoffs, the AFC Championship game. But I will say this: it's not a rivalry until you beat them. And the problem is, regular season, you could take it and wash it, means nothing. And the reality is also, you can talk about how you think about Josh Allen right now, but if Josh Allen went through a whole career and didn't win a Super Bowl, or Lamar Jackson goes through a whole career and doesn't win a Super Bowl, you are going to talk about them differently. Right. They will not ever be in any of those conversations of the best of the best. They have got to do it, and unfortunately, that means they got to beat Mahomes. And so this is a massive legacy game for Josh Allen. And when you talk about, they've already beat him in the regular season again. They beat him this season. Now you got to go to their place and show them we have not only overtaken the Mahomes, Allen, but team-wise, we now are on the same plane. Because Super Bowls are the only way these guys are getting judged. Hall of Fame stuff, all that kind of stuff, all their numbers are going to be sick because we throw the ball all around. Everybody's going to be, oh, this guy was special. It don't matter. The reason Mahomes isn't talked about as the greatest ever is because Tom Brady's got so many freaking Super Bowls. You got to catch him. You three-peat, now maybe you're in that conversation because now you have something that nobody else has ever gotten. It matters. But it has to start at some point. Now is the time it starts.
Okay, but you mentioned Peyton Manning 3-2 against Brady, right?
He's 3-2 in the AFC Championship game, right?
Right.
Playoff games, yes.
Right.
Playoff, yeah.
But when you're looking at when you're looking at Josh beats Patrick this weekend, but loses in the Super Bowl. I just feel like you talk about this as a legacy game, but you need more defeats of Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
It would be a miss.
For it to sort of change.
To your point, it would be a missed opportunity because it's so rare to get to the big game. Yeah. The reason why I don't think it would hurt his legacy is because I'm assuming multiple things. Number one, he's under 30. He's going to have another opportunity. I don't expect Josh Allen to not be a guy. No. Because when you look at the body of work, and it's the same thing with Lamar, when you look at the body of work, these are guys that are continuing to get better. Right. Josh Allen was lights out this year because of how smart he was with the football, and he understood, okay, I don't need to be pressing all the time. That's going to be significant going forward because they're starting to figure out this formula.
So you think Patrick Mahomes don't get worse? Because he's going to get better.
Of course not, but that's the whole point.
It's competition, right? And he's got a huge head start. This guy has absolutely balled in the biggest moments, by the way. So when you talk about what he's already done, it's like me in the 40 with Fox. You give me a 35-yard start, I'm probably going to win that 40-yard dash.
36.
Right? But right, yeah, maybe 36. Give me as much as I can get. But it's a difference because he's already ahead.
So look, I mean, let's be very specific. Patrick Mahomes is playing to become the Michael Jordan of this era. When did Michael Jordan become Michael Jordan? When he three-peated. That was something that Larry hadn't done and Magic hadn't done and no one had done going back to the Celtics of the 60s. That's when Michael Jordan became Jordan because he had no rival. You just said it. It's not a rivalry, it's a relationship.
That's right.
Until both sides have won. So right now, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes have a relationship.
Yes.
Until he beats him,
that's right.
It is not a rivalry. And to your point, I agree. He has to not just beat him, but he's got to win a championship for us to start putting him in that conversation.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think you're right. For us to put him in the conversation, which is why I made the historical comp, is because it's not just about putting him in the conversation. Stopping Patrick Mahomes from winning another Super Bowl is another thing that would be significant. Creating or ending this era, ending the opportunity to get a three-peat without winning the Super Bowl means something. Not nearly as much as winning a Super Bowl, but it does mean that maybe we're not in the Patrick Mahomes era. Maybe we're in a more level playing field.
It would be something, just to conclude the analogy, it would be something Patrick Ewing was never able to do. Charles Barkley was never able to do it. Karl Malone was never able to do it. The other great players of that era were never able to beat Michael and thus create a legitimate rival. Can Josh do it Sunday? We'll find out. In the meantime, to the NFC we go. Is Jalen Daniels right now doing it better than anyone? Does his miracle run make him the best rookie the game has ever seen? We're talking about it. Plus, is Lamar Jackson getting too much blame after another playoff meltdown? Our group is fired up. Talk about it straight ahead. You're watching Get Up on a Wednesday on ESPN.
Come on, 40. 40's the new 20.
Beard
Oh, my word. Oh, baby.
He's 40.
He's 40.
40.
And
Normalized posters with guys with gray hair.
40.
Or no hair.
And he had a triple-double in the Lakers win over the Wizards yesterday. Okay, back to football now. We have put together some statistics, and it is time for the third ever installment of our favorite segment known as D's Notes. Here we go. For D's Note.
I hope that you made the adjustment that I suggested. That's all.
No, there will be three again.
Oh. The birth defect. Go ahead, Greeny.
Don't note shame me here, Nick. Okay, here we go. The first of D's notes today involves the great Patrick Mahomes. The Buffalo Bills have got some work to do. In their 3 previous matchups with Mahomes in the playoffs, Patrick has thrown 8 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, which is tied with Tom Brady for the most touchdowns without a pick against any single playoff opponent all time. Mahomes has never lost to the Bills and thrown 0 interceptions. Give me the one attribute, Jeff, that Mahomes has that allows him to continue to perform at this ridiculous level.
Decision making. Like you look at he sees the field as well as anybody who's ever done it. He finds his guys. He's comfortable in the biggest moment, but it all starts from headspace, man. Decision making separates him from everybody else. He sees it. The game slows down. He makes the play.
This is where people talk about experience mattering and why you are hesitant to pick young players, because you see it in watching their games. You see how them on the offense and the defense, they feel like a defensive boxer and that they're just biding their time, waiting for you to drop your hands, and then they hit you with that knockout punch. He's not taking risks that he doesn't have to take because he knows the longer the game goes, the more comfortable I am and the less comfortable you are, because I've been in this not once, not twice, but every single damn season of my career.
Please.
I'm in the most clutch moments. Like, he lives there, and so he likes it there.
When I think about the Chiefs, the thing that I always go back to is how they prepare in preseason, in training camp, where Andy Reid has them in practice when they're out in the summer heat, practicing these 10, 15, 18-play drives, fourth-quarter situations, so that when these moments arise, they've done it. And it's the preparation for me that stands out, because other teams get in these moments and like they don't have that mettle in those big time moments. I think that, again, that's why Jalen Daniels is so impressive.
The Chiefs are like the Patriots were in the Tom Brady era. They're incredible at situational football, and the Patriots practice that, to your point, in the offseason, OTAs, mini camps, training camp, to prepare themselves for the postseason. I was for the cup of coffee I had with the Patriots, I was like, thrown back, obviously coming from where I came from in May, that they 1-15 was our last. Thank you.
The practicing it is important, but knowing that it's coming, like
that's the point.
The rest of us practice it because we're like, maybe
we'll get there.
They're practicing like, it's coming. All this other stuff don't matter. Like, eventually we're going to be in the
foregone conclusions. It's not even a question.
So there's a different level of focus when you know.
And
we're going to be there.
And for Patrick Mahomes specifically, it's like that scene in Hangover, where Zach Galifianakis has like the numbers in his brain moving. For most quarterbacks, the game slows down over time. You get smarter, you understand, you see more NFL defenses. For Patrick Mahomes, I remember an interview in his first year, or maybe his second year, where he's like, I'm still learning NFL defense.
He said he didn't know how to read defense.
He doesn't know, right? So it's coming natural to him.
No. You had all the movies in the history of time, and you try to say Patrick Mahomes reminds you of Zach Galifianakis.
Have you not seen Hangover?
I've seen Hangover, but
where he's gambling and the numbers are just coming.
I know, but
it's a not learned thing. It's natural to him is the point. And also, I'm struggling with my earpiece. Nobody wanted to help me. You see, I'm trying to get it all together. Dang, Nick.
I'll help Hawk right now. The reality is, their third down conversion is one of those things that should shock the world, and all those numbers going around, because how they convert every third down is second to none. It's crazy.
Because that went longer than we anticipated. Dominique, we're only going to have
two notes?
two.
Yeah!
We did it.
We did it.
We did. I was filibustering so we could right-size the segment.
This one involves Jayden Daniels. It is not hyperbole to say he is playing the quarterback position better than anyone right now. Going back to the beginning of December, Jayden Daniels is 7-0. That is the most wins in the NFL. Listen to these numbers. He is first in QBR when pressured, when blitzed, on third downs, and on fourth downs.
Hey.
In the red zone, he has not turned the ball over and has accounted for 15 touchdowns. So the question's a pretty simple one. Hawk, is Jayden Daniels right now playing better than any other quarterback?
Short answer, yes, he is. Because he's so decisive with his decision making. To your point about when they send pressure at him, whenever you get pressure, there are clear answers to the test. The test is if you can find those answers in the little bit amount of time you have to get to them, he knows always where to go with the football. So it's actually less advantageous for defenses to blitz him because that makes the play operational, and that's when he's at his best.
Listen, this one frustrates me. I mean, listen, I'm not taking away from Jayden Daniels. He's
Sounds like you're about to, sir.
But Patrick Mahomes, they lost one game that mattered this season, right? So 7-0 or whatever, they just keep winning, but we act like he's not. Or that Josh Allen, because he threw for $130 or whatever and did what he... I appreciate what Jayden Daniels is doing. I'm just saying those other two guys who are still in it, and we just talked about Patrick Mahomes. The dude never freaking loses. Like, there's something about what he does that helps his team win as well. It's not gaudy numbers because he's not asked to. That's my only
Jeffrey, what we're talking about, we are talking about something we've never seen before.
This is called the Saturday.
We've seen Patrick Mahomes before?
How he is playing, like
Patrick Mahomes.
First of all, when you have a rookie quarterback and he is in this position of not only turning around a franchise, throwing Hail Marys, coming back from all these deficits in the fourth quarter, overtime. You good, Hawk? You falling apart today, boy.
You're a wreck.
So, but also, Jayden Daniels he's not asked to manage games. He is asked consistently to be Superman. And you know what? He comes through each and every time.
Dominic, you made a great point when this came up yesterday. So those numbers, if Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson was 15 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the red zone over the last 7 weeks, the conversation would be, is he playing better than any quarterback in the history of the sport? And all of us, and Jayden Daniels had thrown for 137 yards the other day.
You just read it's tied with Josh Allen.
No, right.
You just read he's tied with Josh Allen.
No, Jeff, you guys aren't familiar with Jeff as I am. It's called the Saturday Trap, where he pretends that you said something that you didn't say.
My wife agrees with me.
He pretends that you said something you didn't say. He's playing the best in the playoffs right now.
Right.
That's the point that we're making.
Right. Okay.
And it's inarguable.
Okay.
And then you'd be like, you're saying that he's better than Patrick. No, we're not.
Oh, man.
You trying though. You trying.
No.
You and I both know where y'all got that. Get this conversation.
You're one of them zero-sum lovers, man, of like, because his blessings are great don't mean it's blocking your blessings. Because we love Jayden Daniels.
He's trying to bring my virtue.
Come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
What's for you is for you, Josh Allen. What's for you is for you, Patrick Mahomes. We are impressed with Jayden Daniels because he is performing at a level we didn't expect. Those other guys, we've seen you play like that, Mahomes.
Not only that, the other guys,
say amen.
The other guys, for whatever it's worth, are getting all kinds of help from other places that Jayden Daniels is not getting. His team has given up 50-something points, and I had it yesterday in the 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
I mean, they need everything that he does and then some. No one is suggesting if you were picking a team right now, for this Sunday, you would take Jayden Daniels ahead of Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes we're comparing to Brady and ghosts.
Yeah.
I understand that part of it. But this minute, and this is the part that I had Orlovsky and Alex Smith over here the other day, and they lost their minds about this conversation. This minute, Daniels is playing better than anybody.
They're lost their mind because they're footballing. They're like, hey, I'm asked to do a job as a quarterback. I'm going to do my job. That's going to require not taking chances, not doing those things.
Asking someone to do a harder job and actually doing it. So, yeah, I'm not trying to denigrate anything that these other quarterbacks are doing, but what we're asking of Jayden Daniels is much more challenging.
And I'm not trying to disparage Jayden. I love it.
Okay, so let me ask you a question right now. Let me ask you a question right now. This came up last week, actually, at the Dominique Foxworth Show live taping at the Whitby Hotel, brilliantly emceed by Mike Greenberg. Here's the question. We all understand in the NFL there's a big 4 quarterbacks, right? Put them in whatever order you want. Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, and Burrow. Is Jaden Daniels 5th? Is Jaden Daniels already, as a rookie, the number 5 quarterback in the NFL?
Yes. He would be 5.
Now you on
Now,
What the heck?
you
just compared him with Allen, but I would not put him ahead of Allen and Mahomes.
No.
But I would put him 5th. I agree. I do think he's.
So where does Matt Stafford go?
6.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think Jaden Daniels is lights out, man. I love the kid, what he's doing. He runs this offense super efficiently. When moments matter, he steps up. I'm not trying to disparage him. I just
harder for me to accept because this is when longevity does matter. One season makes it more difficult for me to say, but if we're just talking about this little playoff run, it's easier for me because I can see what's happening. Jaden Daniels answering this and repeating it, and Matt Stafford's had an up and down career at times, but he's done it over a longer period of time, and it makes it harder, but I still think I like Jaden, man.
I love Jaden. I think Jaden is right there. I would probably give the edge to Matt Stafford for the reasons you said. When I think about the top 5 quarterbacks, it are guys that you just throw out there and say, yo, it doesn't matter which 32 teams you put those quarterbacks on. They get out there and they could play the position no matter what the offense is.
But when Matt Stafford was with the Lions, it didn't quite look like.
He still look good?
No, it didn't quite look like what Jesus is doing right now. That's why I know that.
Jaden Daniels has the Washington Commanders in the NFC Championship game. They had the same, when this season began, the Washington Commanders and Tennessee Titans had the same projected win total on ESPN Bet. The Titans are picking first in the draft, and the Commanders are still playing at the end of January. This kid is everything they're saying.
We should have
and more.
boosted it.
Coming up, boost it, baby. Let's go. Lamar Jackson. Is Lamar Jackson getting too much or too little blame after another Ravens letdown? We'll talk about him as we continue in a moment. And it's a holiday. Mel Kiper has released his first mock of the year. Okay. Shador, Cam, how high will they go? Can either of them be the next Jaden Daniels? He'll join us. Week edition of Fact or Fiction, but let's look around the league a little bit. Kmart, if I said Ben Johnson is the perfect coach for Caleb Williams in Chicago, is that fact or fiction?
I'll say fact on paper. Listen, this guy knows Caleb every year. He's playing against this team in that division. I think Ben Johnson was the marquee candidate of this round, right? My only thing with the Bears is it's so hard to get excited because they tweeted out his photo like new era. They had a new era every 2 years, it feels like, with these coaches. So I hope Ben Johnson has success there because they do have a quarterback now.
I'm with you. Hawk, let's go to the Lions. If I said they have now missed their best chance at the Super Bowl, would that be fact or fiction?
I think it's fact. I think it's fact because you look at Ben Johnson leaving, who we just talked about, Aaron Glenn leaving, so they lose both coordinators. They're a very talented football team. Goff is a great quarterback and has been great for the Detroit Lions. I do start to question if we'll continue to see that version of Jared Goff without Ben Johnson at the helm.
And then finally, Dominique, I turn to you. If someone were to say Lamar Jackson needs to win a Super Bowl to cement his legacy, would that be fact or fiction?
Oh, yeah, that's the easiest, most obvious fact that we can come up with. Yeah. That's how we measure quarterbacks, especially these great quarterbacks. And it's been really special for these young quarterbacks to get to this point so quickly where we're only measuring championships. We skipped all the questions, and now the only question left is, can he win the Super Bowl? And I think it's going to be yes at some point. I think we all do.
Yes. The obvious answer to that question is yes. I agree with you because what we're talking about is, or I guess what we would say is, what exactly is the legacy going to be? Because his legacy right now is he's going to be one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks that ever lived, which is it almost feels like damning with faint praise, right? He is more accomplished, infinitely more accomplished than the other contenders of his time. Joe Burrow doesn't have an MVP. Josh Allen doesn't have an MVP. Lamar's about to have his third, we think, but the postseason success has to come.
To me, whenever I think about Lamar, I start thinking about Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers, arguably one of the most gifted quarterbacks we have seen play this game, and yet still we point to, man, it really feels, given all the talent he has, that he should have won more Super Bowls. And it feels like a failure for not getting more Super Bowls. I feel like with Lamar, the crazy thing about Lamar and Josh, it's almost like they've done so much so early that now it's like you need to win a Super Bowl. You don't win a Super Bowl, given all these windows, given your talent.
I think that is a barometer that Lamar Jackson set up for himself.
Yeah.
He said on day one, you're going to get a Super Bowl out of me.
Yeah.
Why? It's not crazy to say that he needs to win a Super Bowl because that's also how he's judging his own career. It's all he actually cares about.
Yes.
He does not care about the MVPs. He wants to be a champion. He wants to bring a championship to Baltimore. Now, if I'm being just unbiased, outside looking in, I will say you cannot tell the NFL story without Lamar Jackson. You think about how we talk about Michael Vick. Michael Vick is incredible. He is nowhere near as good as Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson will have changed the way you look at quarterbacks in the NFL because prior to him, it was you cannot win a Super Bowl this way. To where now we're like, we believe he will win one. And not only that, you look at the last 4 quarterbacks standing, mostly all of them are dual threat quarterbacks. And that's not all because of Lamar, but it has shaped the way that quarterbacks and teams will go look at quarterbacks in the draft.
All 4 of them are. I mean, all 4 of the quarterbacks that are still standing are dual.
He's the final evolution of the dream that we all had a long time ago.
Yeah, the creative player Madden players that we created. Yeah.
And for him to, so you're right, he's going to go down in history as one of the greats, but the Super Bowl is
the Super Bowl has to happen because for all those conversations, and the problem is the only one who's even gotten to a Super Bowl is Burrow. Like Allen hasn't done any more than what Lamar has done. None of these guys have gotten to what we all expect them to get to. They all have to get there. So to say it would not be a fact, he has to win a Super Bowl to be put in the conversation of the greatest to ever do it. You could say changed it of but to be in the greatest conversations, that Super Bowl has to happen.
Of course, for sure. Again, you lived this too with Peyton Manning.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was at the game.
And the whole regular season thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard all of that.
And the one thing, if you're looking to criticize Lamar Jackson's postseason performance, Burrow hasn't been bad in the playoffs.
Right.
They just haven't won.
Right.
Allen hasn't been bad in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Lamar, until this year, his performance diminished. I will continue to say, and I don't care what anybody says, that game the other night was not on him. I feel like he is getting infinitely too much blame for what happened in that game. People are looking at a first half turnover and deciding that decided a game. The first one, I get it. It didn't lead to points in the other direction. The second one did, whatever it is. He more than overcame it. Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, was the best player on the field on Sunday night. And I refuse to allow, at least to go unchecked, the idea that Lamar Jackson is the reason his team lost that game.
I think people use that with Josh Allen. And people would get upset, right, that he played well, but his team didn't win. Or he did. The problem is when you set the bar as high as Lamar Jackson set it throughout the regular season, and you have 4 interceptions, and everybody says not one of them is your fault. And then you go into the playoff game, and you're playing against, again, a contemporary that you're all being judged against, and you turn the ball over twice in one game. It matters. You can say whatever you want about the rest of it, but those 2 things are monumental in football, and it just is what it is. You can't say you're disparaging him because it happened. He fumbled it when he shouldn't have. He threw an interception. It is what it's no different than Josh Allen. You got to grade them all on the same curve, in my opinion, when it comes to that.
I'm not arguing that part of it. I'm from a bigger picture perspective, you're 100% right. He's going to need to win one for this narrative to change. From a little picture perspective, I think that I've seen too much of people saying, "Oh, Lamar Jackson loses again. Lamar Jackson blows it again."
I agree.
That is, to me, that was not the game I watched on Sunday night. One way or another, it is time for the always dangerous Zero Fox Given.
Yeah.
Dominique has a couple of things that have caught his attention.
Dominique, shut your damn face. Damn, that dude is cool right there. I give 0. Get that big fella.
I get scared every time I'm going to say it because I'm country and I might say the wrong thing.
0 socks.
Yes.
I'm glad 0 Fox is alive for another week. Lucky me.
All right. Every week we take our lives in our own hands, or at least our careers in our own hands, with a feature known as Zero Fox Given.
All right, we're going to start with A.J. Brown, and it's nothing that he did on the field. It's him showing up to the game like a college freshman in a Honda with his books. He looked fly. He must have got that NIL check, but he didn't get enough to buy a new car. He went out there. He's dressed like a workman. He's driving a workman's vehicle, and he went out there and played like an offensive guard. Blocked the hell out of everybody. He did block his ass off, but he ain't get
financial literacy. I love it, AJ. I love it. Keep that money, my boy.
Keep it. Yeah, you didn't got to flex when you got that new contract. I'm scared to even talk about this. I don't want to name names because I don't want them coming to my house. Talk about somebody who gets 0 Fox. This is the first play of the game. It's not even in regulation. This is the kickoff. This is how you respond to the kickoff. And look at my coach. You know who does give some foxes? The coach.
Yeah.
Coach like, I don't care who wins.
What is Chris Boyd
Can we
doing?
play that back? Can we play the wide angle again? And look at all the coaches up top when they see it. Look at them.
Oh,
they all act like, what do you say over there?
Everybody did have something else
Like
to do.
D'Amico was like, okay, yeah, we got a game going on. Yeah, that's
You know you're in trouble when you get the point down.
Oh, yeah.
When you whipping it down on him, it's a problem. All right,
He
last.
also got a 15-yard penalty for throwing his helmet off going to the sideline. Go ahead.
About anything. All right, last we got the king of 0 Fox giving, Mac Hollins. Oh my
Yes,
God.
sir.
I've run out of, are those Zumbas? Does he have on Zumba shorts? I've
yeah.
run out of things to say about this man. He plays hard, he plays great. He doesn't care about himself though. He gives 0 Fox about his personal health.
about what's on the ground,
He is in the Hall of Fame.
That was the
0
week
Fox.
before.
I'm looking forward to this week, though.
Me
What is he
too.
going to give us this week? He gave us the Yabba Dabba Don't, and I think that's the Dope Fiend Clean on that side. In the middle, it's Beach Boy Fresh, but I don't know what he's got.
Am I the only one watching then that always thinks he is one play away from a 15-yard penalty? Also, on every single play, he looks like he's ready to explode.
He lives on the edge.
I think that's obvious.
Yeah, he's got some offensive guard in his heart. Or it's just nasty. He just got
He a Tar Heel.
That man gives 0 Fox. We have an NBA Western here. Hurts is hurting. Can the Eagles fly to the big bowl without anything more from Jalen? We'll answer that question next. It's Get Up on ESPN.